Hello. As you can tell, I am not in my car today and I'm not in the work parking lot. It is Saturday. I have the day off. It's getting dark in here right now. I just have the lights on. I waited until nighttime for some reason to do this video. In all honesty, I was just really tired. I don't think I put out a video in the last couple days, and it's just because I just had to rest. I took a drive last weekend, the weekend before I worked. It's almost like it's just been nonstop, day after day after day, and I worked all week last week. I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit, but this weekend I just needed to rest. But I did have something that I wanted to talk about. Before I get started, please like and subscribe. Please share my channel. Please comment whether you agree with me or not. We're all going to keep it respectful. But I do love having you here. I appreciate you and thank you so much for being here on my channel. We just surpassed 200 subscribers, which is really huge for me because I think I had 4 when I started this. When I first started out, just really putting out some of this content, I think I had 4 subscribers. So that means a lot to me. It means that you're sharing, and I do really appreciate you. Thank you. I do want to get the word out there. But today, what I wanted to talk about was something that was on my mind in the last couple days. I just didn't have a chance to put the video out. But I wanted to share that a lot of my videos talk about being a creator, or we are creators, or we are part of the one, the all, the I am. And I wanted to make it clear that when I talk about being a creator, when I talk about manifesting, or when I talk about all the things that I have brought about, recently in my life, and all the wonderful things that have started to open up for me and started to happen since I started having this new mindset, I want to make sure that it's clear that I don't consider myself to be the creator. There's a difference between saying I am part of the creator, or I am one with the creator, or we are all one with the creator, or we are co-creators. There's a difference between that and trying to claim that I alone am the creator. I think that, there's some people who believe that they're it, and, their thoughts are all there is, and they are the ones that are, single-handedly creating this, all the imagery and the experiences and everything that they're living through, and it's just them. And that's fine if that's what you believe. I'm not here to take away from what you believe. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. But in my own experience and in the way that I believe, and coinciding with what Jesus taught, that God, the I am, is the all, the everything, is the consciousness, is the creator, is the, whatever we want to think of God as being, and that's an answer that none of us have, but God is the ultimate divine intelligence, or the divine creator of everything. We are all parts of that. And Jesus said, the Father is in me, I am in the Father, I am in you, you are in me, so we are in each other. We are all part of that creator, and therefore we all, the thoughts that we think do create, but not alone. And that's something that I was really thinking about the other day as I was driving down the road on my way home. What part of me is responsible for my own portion of my life, and what part is, everybody, all existing, responsible for this life and these things that I see. Every morning I wake up, I look outside, I see the sunrise, I get my tea, I go to work, I meet up with certain people, I have my son and my family and my cat and things in my life. And some people say, okay, that's my brain, or that's me coming up with all this, this experience. That's my experience. But did I come up with the semi truck that cuts me off in the morning? Did I come up with that semi truck? Did I think a negative thought subconsciously and all of a sudden a truck pulled over? Did I come up with wars in the world? am I creating all the things that happen in the whole entire world? Is it just me? And one time I had a good friend of mine said to me, one time I felt I was being a bit codependent, and I was feeling responsible for somebody else's feelings and something that was happening to somebody else. I was kind of taking too much responsibility for it. And she said, how egotistical, do you think you're God? like, do you think you're that powerful that you can make things happen in their life, do you think you're so powerful that you can make everything happen in the world? So she meant it in a joking way. She wasn't being mean to me, but it really made me think, actually, no, I don't think that I am the only one creating everything. I don't think that, for instance, if I'm thinking positive thoughts and I'm going throughout the world and everybody seems happy and, life is going well and the economy is going great and there are no wars going on, and then all of a sudden, I think a negative thought and suddenly all hell breaks loose and a virus comes out like COVID, and then wars start. And am I going to take responsibility for that and say that it was my negative thought that made the whole world fall apart? Because, hey, I'm the one envisioning all this, and I had this negative thought, and therefore, here I am bouncing along in my little creation, having a good time, and this negative thought came in, and suddenly the whole world fell apart. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 minute. I don't believe that at all. I am a believer, and this is, when I say I am a believer, as you can probably tell about me by now, I do a lot of thinking, I watch videos, I do research, I read the Bible, I read books, I read about, I think philosophers, I read a lot of different things in science, and I just kind of gather conclusions based on everything that I read and everything that I put together. But when I say that this is what I think, I don't want you to in any way think that I'm telling you what to think. This is just kind of what I'm thinking right now. And it could change, as I learn more, it could always change. But right now, what I gather is that consciousness, God, and the all, the everything, the I am, is everything, literally everything and everyone that exists. Everyone who has a mind, anyone who is in existence, and, the whole entire existence, you could call it the universe, or, everything that lives, everything that is responsible for creation. And we are all in it together. And I think that creation is not just created by one small part of that. The creation is created by the whole thing. So when we have positive things and we have negative things that go on in this world, in this life, I don't think anybody is necessarily responsible for having a thought that makes things happen. I just think things happen in this creation the way they do. Things change and morph and grow. It's kind of like the waves in the ocean. I feel like each of us is just a wave in the ocean. And when you watch a wave, it's all part of the ocean. And then it gets this peak on it. And it's kind of like a mound at first. You're watching a swell. A wave begins as a kind of a swell, and then the swell gets bigger and the swell gets bigger, and all of a sudden it starts to get, some motion to it, and it starts to come in faster and faster. And the next thing you know, that swell comes way up, and then this cap turns on, and it doubles over on itself, and it comes rolling in, and then it hits the beach. And somebody said one time, what happens to a wave? Where does it go? And somebody said it goes nowhere. Well, no, it doesn't go nowhere. After the wave hits the beach, it goes back into the ocean. It becomes part of the water again, and it just goes back out into the ocean to become a different wave. That wave that just hit the beach doesn't go back into the ocean to become the exact same wave that it was and hit the exact same beach in the exact same way. That wave goes out into the ocean and becomes part of the water. And then one day, parts of that wave become a swell. Other parts of that wave might go out all the way out into the ocean. Other parts, if you were to follow the droplets, every little droplet in one wave that hits the beach, and then when that wave goes back out, if you were to be able to follow, like put a motion detector or a tag on each and every droplet of that wave, and then watch where it goes and what happens to it after it hits the beach and goes back out, you would probably find that over time, those droplets are going to be all over the place. You might have some droplets that end up in Antarctica. You might have some droplets that end up in South Africa. Some droplets might end up in Florida. Other droplets might end up, in California. You have droplets. Droplets will be everywhere because they keep going out and coming in and going out and coming in. And the same exact droplets of water do not stay together. They form together with other droplets of water and go somewhere else. And I kind of feel like that's how souls are. And again, I say this with a grain of salt. I say, this is kind of how I feel. I'm not basing this on solid evidence, and I'm not saying I'm right and this is scientifically proven. I really think it would be interesting you can hear the sirens out there. They get loud. It gets loud here. But I think it would be really interesting if we were able to trace every drop in the ocean just to see what drops form with what drops and when and how and where. Wouldn't that be interesting? I kind of see drops of water in the ocean, though, as human souls connected to the everything. A human soul develops in the fetus. It's that swell in the ocean. It starts to form a mound. Okay, so then we're born. We live our life. It's coming in, it's coming in, it's coming in. You're seeing that swell getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We're getting older and older and older. Eventually, at one point, that wave starts to roll. It smacks into the beach. It hits the beach. Once it hits the beach, poof, that wave is done. That's our death. And then it goes back out into the ocean. That's kind of how I see human beings, souls. I'm trying to tilt my camera here. It's falling. But yeah, I kind of see souls in the vast ocean of the everything forming into one individual, living a lifetime. And I don't see death as death. Like Jesus said, death, where is your sting? It's a change. When a wave hits the beach, do we say, oh, poor wave, it died? No, the wave just hits the beach and it goes back out there. It's still water. It's not in the form of the wave anymore. It's not in that same form, but it's still water. It exists. So we don't stand there and grieve every wave that hits the beach like the poor thing died. And I feel that that's the way it is kind of with human souls. I feel like we're in these experiences until we hit our death, and then we go back out there to be in the big vast ocean of experience, and then we form into other experiences, and that could support reincarnation, or it could support what Jesus taught about getting a new body. Jesus said we get new bodies. And, a lot of Christians will say, oh, you believe in reincarnation. That's from the devil. No, it's not. Jesus said we get new bodies. So if we get a new body, does it mean we're still us? Does it mean we're still the us that we were? Or do we combine with a whole bunch of other us's to become a new body with another combination of us's to create an us, a one? Anyway, these are all just things I think about when I'm driving. Yes, I was driving all the way back from Philadelphia to Harrisburg, and yes, I do think. And so anyway, I wanted to get this out there before it's time for another work day, because yes, I was way too tired. I actually did hit the video at one point, but I wanted to get into the office a little bit early. I didn't want to just sit there and talk in the parking lot. I just needed to rest. So this weekend, I'm taking the weekend to do just that. I'm resting. But I did want to share this because I just felt it was interesting. If you find it interesting, let me know. If you find it boring, you can let me know. If you have anything to add, please let me know. I want you to participate. So thanks for listening. Thanks for getting to the end of the video. And I will see you next time.